What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. As we know, the Republican National Convention was in Milwaukee, and the Republicans this time around are getting more of the black vote. People think it's because of Black America's infatuation with Donald Trump. I can tell you that isn't the case, because most blacks, African Americans are gonna vote Democrat, and they still will this year. The reason why Donald Trump is getting so much support from blacks has a lot to do with the mistakes that Democrats keep making. And you just keep seeing it over and over and over again. Most African Americans, despite religious identity, despite political identity, want to see the United States government take some level of stance on an answer for reparations. Black people want reparations. It is clear, it is obvious that Democrats and Joe Biden do not care about reparations. However, African Americans continue to see more rights for immigrants, people who just got here. They're seeing themselves being replaced. And again, that immigration and migrant crisis is costing the country thousands upon thousands of dollars. So, and with knowing that you're not going to get anything with reparations, it leads you to the border crisis and many other problems the Democrats will not solve. That leads people into what is going on with Donald Trump. And let me say this also. The LGBTQ trans situation, that is also what a lot of women have them concerned. Okay, because a lot of women feel like that them being born as natural, quote unquote, cis women, they're not at a disadvantage, which they know that Donald Trump would take a stance on. Now you have people who were just complete liberals, like Amber Rose, saying this.
But I'm here tonight to tell you, no matter your political background, that the best chance we have to give our babies a better life is to elect Donald Trump President of the United States. Now, you may be wondering why I'm up here telling you this. I'm no politician, and I don't want to be. But I do care about the truth. And the truth is that the media has lied to us about Donald Trump. I know this because for a long time I believed those lies. So I'm here to set the record straight. The first person I knew who supported Donald Trump was my father. I was shocked. My entire family is racially diverse. And I believed the left-wing propaganda that Donald Trump was a racist. My father said, "No, he's not, Amber. What are you talking about?" And when I insisted, he said, "Prove it." So to prove my father wrong, I did my research and looked into all things Donald Trump. People have to do their research. I watched all the rallies, and I started meeting so many of you, his red hat wearing supporters. I realized Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love. And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong. So I let go of my fear of judgment, of being misunderstood, of getting attacked by the left, and I put the red hat on too. Thank you. Love you too. I never felt more free and more love for my country than I do now. I want to thank my father, who's in the audience tonight, for opening my eyes. He served over 20 years in the U.S. military. Thank you for your service, Dad. Where's he at? I love you, Dad. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you. When I met the president and Melania for the first time, he was kind and generous and funny as hell. Very funny. The First Lady was gracious and smart with a smile that will brighten up any room. If you're watching this tonight, you know our country is in trouble. Just like me. When you go to the store and buy food for your family, you're shocked. When you fill up your gas tank, you're pissed. I know I am. And when you turn on the news, you are just exhausted. Inflation is out of control, and you know in your heart it was not like this under Donald Trump. My message to you tonight comes from a humble place. The left told me to hate Trump, and even worse, to hate the other side, the people who support him. When you cut through the lies, you realize the truth. American families were better when Donald Trump was president. We were safer, wealthier, and stronger. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to put money back in our pockets and good food on our kids' plates. Yes. Or, as Trump would say, it's a vote to make America great again. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And then now, Joy Reid, who works for MSNBC, is basically trying to bring Amber Rose down.
So it's ironic that they were able to recruit this young woman.
Families were better when
she's a racially ambiguous. I don't want to say she's black because she has said she's not. So I don't want to say this black woman, this woman who is of whatever race that she has claimed. She said she's not black. But they brought somebody whose whole career is based in black culture. She used to be on a show on BET. That's the reason most people know who she is. She dated one of the most prominent African-American rappers in the business in the history of hip-hop. So her whole culture came from black culture, even though she says she's not a black person herself. And the fact that she is now the person they're using to try to recruit young people of color and to say that this is the person who is the endorser of Donald Trump who you should trust, when she won't even claim the culture that brought her to the table, I'm dubious that this will work. I don't know anyone who takes their political cues from Amber Rose, but just in case you do, you might want to duplicate doing your own research because she might not have done it thoroughly.
I think when we look at...
So she's trying to point out the fact that, oh, Republicans, you're trying to get the black vote by using somebody who is not black. Well, she doesn't consider herself black. So why are you using her? Here are some things of her saying this in the past that she's not black. And I get it. You know, Amber Rose has said some controversial things about not being black, but that's not the point. You see, Democrats use the same entertainers to leverage the black vote. Republicans are going to use entertainers to leverage the black vote. But the situation is, why are Republicans getting stronger? First of all, Joe Biden is aging before our eyes tremendously, right? That's number one. The first thing, first and foremost. Secondarily, the Democrats have done a poor job of managing the nation. If the Democrats were not doing such a poor job of managing the nation, managing the migrant crisis, managing many other things, every city that's large is in ruin that Democrats run. Chicago, New York City, it's terrible. Houston, Texas, one of the most dirtiest cities on planet Earth. Philadelphia, violent. Detroit, terrible. New Orleans, terrible. Dalton, Illinois, the worst mayor in the nation happens to be Tiffany Henyard, terrible. Flint, Michigan, terrible. Jackson, Mississippi, terrible. Oakland, terrible, okay? People are tired of terrible cities with policies that don't make sense. Even Amber Rose, who is an atheist, doesn't believe in, is almost an anarchist. You can believe so in certain areas. Wants to go to Trump because people want stability for their kids. They don't trust Joe Biden. The Democrats will deliver that to them. So why are we not talking about all of those mistakes that you have made versus attacking Amber Rose on what her nationality is? It wouldn't matter if she called herself black or not. She identifies with the black community. They identify with her. Why do they have that big influence? Because you messed up, okay? The Democrats don't want to admit they have been screwing up the country for the last, I don't know how many years. Things are getting worse, all right? I was talking to somebody dear to me, won't call their name, but every time I talk to somebody back home, yo, I gotta get out of here. I have to get out of here. It's getting terrible. I thought I was talking to SPK. He was at one point in Las Vegas, and he was buying some meat. He sent me a photo of the meat, and it was so bad that they have like devices on the meat, like if you try to steal it. That's how bad it's gotten. That's how terrible it is. And you know what? That is a shame that America has gotten like this. And the black community has suffered tremendously, Joy Reid, underneath Democratic rule. We have went as black Democrats, as a black democratic society, to no man being in the house. We are going to jail quite more often. In cities like Baltimore, you don't even have students reading on a high school level in high schools. Can't even pass math proficiency exams. We are turning in a new class of unskilled African-American youth right now in some of these major cities. Some of these kids can't even read. And you're telling me that you want to continue on this path? I can't understand it. How worse can Joe Biden turn this country? The man is already unable to perform his duties as president. I honestly feel that Joe Biden, this is not to be mean, would not make it his entire term this time. He is incompetent to stand as president. And even when he was well, he was still incompetent. He came from an incompetent administration, which was Obama. And now he's even more incompetent as it is now. These guys are a joke. And they want to do everything except for deal with the argument as to why blacks don't want to trust them. Okay? The only reason why blacks trust Democrats right now, if they do, it's out of the hatred for Donald Trump and some Republicans. And you do have racist Republicans that are with Donald Trump. That's absolutely for sure. I will admit that. And they're open about it, some of them. But what you don't know is you have racist Democrats who are not open, pretending to be friends of blacks. See, we never want to talk about that, but it happens all the time. Because if they love blacks, you would see some level of equality. We have not seen any level of equality between whites and blacks, as that has closed the gap from Democrats. It's widened, okay? You have less businesses in the black community. You have less skilled workers in the black community. You have less black families. The Democrats have done nothing but divide blacks and make them even more weaker. So why are we voting for that? So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all of you. Discredit Bill. We're out.